Today I'm going to show you how to make beautiful farmhouse decor with tissue paper and wood pieces from the Dollar Tree. Now this house has been in my stash for quite a while and it's seen a little bit better days, and the fabric is already lifting up at the ends, as you can see. Now I did hit it with the blow dryer to loosen that glue and make it a little bit easier to finish pulling off. The plaque, on the other hand, I had to use some elbow grease and my spatula to kind of pry and push, and it finally came off. It damaged it a little bit on the back side, but that's okay. I was still able to salvage it and use it later in the project. Now my honey is a safety guy, and he's always telling me when I do stuff like this to put on a glove. And y'all, I'm so glad I did, because you'll see right here, this thing came off and went right into the side of my hand. Thank you, Jesus, I was wearing the glove, so no harm done. It did mess up the back of the plaque, but that's okay. And I also broke the roof as I was prying that off, but you know what? We didn't need it anyway. Just giving everything a good sand down, front and back, and I'm going to paint the back side and use that side of this little house, and I will cover up all that ugliness on the back side with some craft paper. And I've got to where I start trying to do that with all of my projects, just to give them a little bit of a nicer, clean finish on the back side. And I am using Rust-Oleum's linen white to paint the house. I'm giving it 2 coats. I'm using antiquing wax from Waverly for the outside of the house. Now I started out with the baby wipe, which is my preferred way to apply antiquing wax, but I just wasn't happy with the results I was getting, so I switched over to the paintbrush and was much happier with that. I'm just adding a layer of Mod Podge. We're going to let that dry because we're going to be using the iron-on method to apply our tissue. And this tissue that I'm going to be using, y'all, I've had it in my stash for a couple of years, literally. And I've seen so many crafters use this one particular sheet that I'm going to use so many times. And I've been like, you know, I need to use that, and just never have gotten around to it. If you're not familiar with the iron-on method, you're using heat to reactivate that layer of Mod Podge that you put down first and let dry. And I've put a sheet of parchment paper over the top, and my iron is on low heat since I'm using this thin tissue. And I like to start in the center of my project. There's no right or wrong way. You do it however best suits you. And I just smooth out from the center. That way, for me, it gets out any air bubbles or anything that might be up under my tissue or napkin, scrapbook paper, whatever you're decoupaging. And this gives such a perfect finish 99.9% of the time. And it is so easy. I absolutely love it. I'm just going around with my sanding block. I'm just going to remove any of the excess tissue. Just remember, you always want to sand away from your project. That way you don't risk tearing your napkin, tissue, whatever you might be using. Remember the plaque we removed from the front of the house? Well, I gave it 2 coats of Rust-Oleum's linen white, let it dry, and we're going to be adding a rub-on transfer, and this came from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to line it up as best I can on the plaque, and then we're just going to use my little tool that came with some transfers that I ordered off of Amazon. And y'all, I love this, but really a popsicle stick, credit card, whatever you might have will work for this just as well. I want to say a quick thank you for all the well wishes and prayers after my surgery. I'm doing much better, on the mend. So happy to be back crafting. If you're new here, hi, I'm Gwen. A great big welcome to you. Welcome to all my new subscribers, and a great big thank you to all of my returning subscribers. Y'all mean the world to me. Now we get to add our embellishments, and y'all know me, more is more, right? But seriously, I love this chiffon ribbon. It is so pretty. It's called Sage Green, I believe. I got it during the spring from Amazon, and I'll link it down below. And I'm just hot gluing it on. It's very, very sheer and thin, so if you do have this, just be careful that you don't burn your fingers when applying the hot glue. And then over the top of that, I'm going to add this lace. And I've had this for a couple of years, and it came from Amazon as well, I believe. I'm using this needle to help get the twine through the lace. Now, it's a little bit large for this project. It's the only one I had on hand at the time, but it gets the job done, and it makes it a lot easier. And it's just making the twine look like it's a stitch in the lace, and you'll see what I mean in just a moment. I think it just looks so pretty and just gives it that extra little bump. I just love the mixture of this twine and lace together. I don't know why, but I'm just loving it. And then on top of the chiffon ribbon, that is just so pretty to me. And I snipped off the excess of the lace, and then I hot glued it directly on top of the chiffon ribbon using just a little bit of hot glue. Less is more here. Using more twine, I'm just going to go ahead and make a quick little finger bow to pop right in the center of our ribbon. Now, because we will be adding a key, I snipped off both of the tails. I thought it was just too much. And I'm using one of those tails and just threading it through the top of the key, and then I'll snip that down just to make sure it's going to be a good fit. And then we'll add just a dab of hot glue to attach both the key and the bow. I thought the plaque looked a little bit plain, so I'm just using a brown marker, and I'm just going all the way around, just giving it some faux stitches. Now, this is strictly optional. You could just leave it as is, but like I said, I thought it looked a little plain, so we're just going to fancy it up a little bit. All that's left to do is add some hot glue and just pop it into place. And y'all, this was so easy and so inexpensive, literally, because I had everything. If you want to count the house, it was $1.25 to make this, and it is just absolutely beautiful and adorable. And I really feel that it is something that you can use year-round. I'm going to keep it on my hutch, and I absolutely love the saying, family is everything, period. Hey guys, this video is part of the monthly What Would You Make collaboration, where the only requirement is that you have to use wood somewhere in your DIYs. And our hosts are Brenda from Rustic and Lace DIY and Christine at DIY Craftaholic. And this month, their guest host is Jess from Glue La La. I'll have their channels along with our playlist down in that description box, so make sure if you're from my channel, you go check out that playlist. If you're here from the playlist, hi, welcome, so happy to have you here. We're going to be using this wood round from the Dollar Tree, and we'll be giving it 2 coats of Rust-Oleum's Linen White. And when that's dry, we'll go in and give it a coat of Mod Podge, and then we'll let that dry. We're going to be decoupaging, and we're using tissue that came from the Dollar Tree, and it also came in that package that we used in the previous DIY, and I love this. Isn't it pretty? The camera is not doing it justice. It's like a grayish green, and I love the stripes, and I'm just lining it up as best I can there. I want my stripes to be straight and even, and I'm just going to repeat the same process as I did with the house. I'm putting parchment paper over the tissue, iron on low heat. And I really, when I'm using a large surface like this to decoupage, I really like to start in the center and work my way out, just to make sure I'm hitting every bit of that surface and reactivating the Mod Podge, which will help my tissue to adhere to the wood round. And it also helps to get out any air pockets or anything like that that might be under your tissue. Then I'll just hit it with my sanding block and just remove the excess tissue. We're going to be adding the word home to our wood round, and I'm going to give it 1 coat of ink from Waverly Chalk Paint. Once it's dry, I'm just going to use some hot glue and pop it onto the sign. Now, this came from Hobby Lobby and was originally $2.99, and I believe I got it for 40% off. I've had it for a while, and I thought it would just be a perfect addition to my wood round. To make our hanger, I'm using a piece of black rope, and to give it a little extra security, I've cut a strip of this brown crafting paper, and then I'll just pop that over the end of the rope just for, like I said, some extra security, and it will also help to cover up your work. To help camouflage the two holes where the original hanger was, I'm using these two push pins from the Dollar Tree, and I snipped off the little pointy pin section of it, just using some hot glue, and we're just going to put them right over those holes. For the bow, we're going to be using this ribbon from the Dollar Tree. I cut 3 strips at different lengths, hot gluing the ends together, and I'm just going to stack them on top of each other and just make a very simple bow. Now, I'm notorious for not getting the sides of my bow even, so I'd like to just bend it in the center, make sure everything's even before I wrap my pipe cleaner around it. To help hide the pipe cleaner, I just folded over a piece of the ribbon, hot glued it together, and then I'll just wrap it around that center and use a little more hot glue to keep it in place. I decided I wanted to have a tail with my bow, so I just took another strip of this ribbon, cut it down to size, dovetailed the ends, and I'm just pinching it in the center and taking one of those little tiny pieces of pipe cleaner and just twisting it around to keep everything pinched together. I'll clip off the excess of the pipe cleaner and use a little bit of hot glue and just hot glue the two pieces together. Now, if you struggle with making bows, this is one of the easiest, most simple bows you can make. I thought I would change it up just a bit and add the bow to the bottom of my wood round instead of the top. I always put them at the top. Tell me what you guys think. Would you prefer it at the top or at the bottom? I want to add in just a little bit of greenery around the bow, and y'all, I love this greenery. I picked it up at Michael's back in the spring, and they were having a crazy sale on all their greenery. I believe it was 70% off, and I picked up several bunches of this. I think I have one more left. I really hope I do. But anyway, I thought this was just the perfect addition to this sign. It's just very soft and neutral, not overly bright and in your face. And I plan to keep this sign year round. Tell me, would you keep this up year round? What are your thoughts about that? Thanks, Brenda and Christine, for hosting the collaboration this month. Thank you, Jess, for being our guest host. We truly appreciate all of y'all. Don't forget about the playlist down in the description box. And my next video will be on July the 1st, a Monday instead of Sunday. I'm going to be part of the first of the month collaboration, and we're going to be kicking off Christmas in July. We're going to have so much fun. So make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when I go live with my next video. Thank y'all so much for being here. And if you want to see some more farmhouse decor, click on this video right here, and I will see you soon.